2K has officially ruined any excitement anyone had about Persona cards. Let's talk about it. So a couple of weeks ago when we had the update in 2K24, it included new Persona cards. It was a huge content dump that everyone was super excited about. And we got two new Persona cards as well. That included Man Bun Roman Reigns and a new rock attire for his final boss gimmick that he had leading up to WrestleMania. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, Persona cards are a way that you can log into MyFaction in WWE 2K24 and earn cards with different attires for superstars that you can use outside of the MyFaction mode. This was something that was pretty highly requested going into WWE 2K24 because a lot of throwback attires and throwback superstars were being added to the game, but were specifically for MyFaction. And so they branched out a little bit this year in 2K24 with the Persona cards. But really, since the game's launch, Persona cards have been a letdown. We had some really cool Seth Rollins Shield card that was unobtainable when the game launched and is still confusing on how you even get this card. There's things you have to do in different modes to unlock oddities. It's extremely confusing. Some of the things you had to do were limited time events that were time sensitive, and we'll get more into that here in just a moment with the Roman Reigns card. But they've just fumbled this. They've really fumbled the idea of Persona cards. It was something that a lot of people were really excited about, and they've pretty much made it make no sense. And now with these latest two editions, they've completely ruined it to me. So let's start off with the Rock Persona card. Now, this Rock Persona card is only unlockable through collecting 5 cards that you can only receive in packs. Now, you could buy a 50-pack bundle of these cards and you may not get all 5 of them. So you may pay $100 for packs in real life if you want to do that, or like 1,000,000 MyFaction points or whatever it would equate to rip these packs open, and there's still not a guarantee that you will get this rock card. You could get 4 of the 5 cards and need 1 more, and because there's no community market in MyFaction this year, there's no way to get the card right now except for the pack. That sucks. That obviously really sucks. If you're a casual player who doesn't really play MyFaction like myself, I've tried to get into it this year, but I just don't like it. There's no way I'm getting this rock card. There's just no way I'm going to get this rock card. And honestly, there's not much to this rock card. I thought there may be an updated entrance with the new final boss entrance, but there's not. It's basically just the Rock. With, I think he has an updated tattoo maybe, and his attire's changed a little bit. It's something you could very easily download off the community creations. There's really not a lot to it. And the fact that you have to spend money on packs or MyFaction points on packs to just have a chance to get the cards that you would need for this rock card is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. And listen, I am not a person who is very anti-pack or anything like that. I think that having MyFaction in this game this year and the emphasis they've put on it, I personally don't think it worked. I think the mode is pretty bare bones. There's not much to do, honestly. The way they did the community market and taking that away is awful. They just did not make changes that I agree with. The updates they made, I don't like. I don't like the mode. I just don't like the mode. There are plenty of people out there that do, and more power to you. I'm not anti-pack, but I really am against the idea of putting this rock card behind something like this. I don't even think this is a card that should be in packs, period. This is a card that you should just be able to unlock pretty quickly, in my opinion. That was what they led us on when they talked about Persona cards this year, was that they weren't going to be too hard to obtain, and people like myself who don't really play MyFaction would be able to go in and get the cards and use them in Universe or Play Now or whatever else we wanted to use them for, and that just simply hasn't been the case this year. With this rock card, it's going to cost you money at the end of the day to get that card, and that is just not okay, in my opinion. And then the same with the Roman Reigns card, but you could argue the Roman Reigns card honestly may be worse, because the Roman Reigns card was a limited time card. And if you log into WWE 2K24 right now, if you maybe just got the game, hey, I want to go get this Roman Reigns card I saw on Twitter they have, you can't do it. it's not there. It's gone. So it was limited time. It is not here anymore. It's probably coming back at some point, but maybe not. Don't know. It's not here right now. I can't unlock it. Why you put a limited time on a Persona card is unbelievable. If you want to have limited time stuff that is specific to MyFaction for the MyFaction community, I think that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Most card collecting modes have a limited time thing on them to get people on the game, get them unlocking it. I totally get it. But that affects people who don't really play this mode, and not having the option to get the card after a certain amount of time is insane. It's honestly insane. And on top of that, you needed the Sami Zayn card to go against The Rock in a singles match to unlock the Roman Reigns. And the only way that you could get the Sami Zayn card is, you guessed it, a pack. Now again, I'm not anti-pack. I think that packs in these modes are fine for these modes. But the fact that they made Persona cards such a big deal this year and such a big feature only for them to be hidden behind packs essentially is not a great place for 2K to be in. This game, 2K24, has a lot to offer in a positive way. It is a great wrestling game overall. It's one of the best pure wrestling games, in my opinion, that we've gotten in quite some time. The gameplay is great. It looks like they've paid a lot of attention to detail. All those things I've talked about in the channel. But these type of things are why companies are labeled with greed, because they're hiding something that the whole player base would want, whether you play MyFaction or Universe mode or anything in between, behind packs. And that's just not cool. That's not okay. I don't appreciate that as a player, to be quite honest, and you should not as well. And just kind of piggybacking on that, with the Persona cards that they have put into the game, whether it's the Shield Seth Rollins or the Trick Williams card from last year, those cards were up on the game at launch, but they were not available because you could not unlock them. And they've made it extremely confusing on how to get those cards. You don't know what mode you have to play, where you can find them. They've just made this as confusing as possible, and clearly they've done that for a reason. They don't want the cards to be obtainable right off the rip. And again, I just don't think that's cool. This was supposed to be something that, hey, we'll log into MyFaction, we'll play a match or two for a card, and then we'll go about our day. And honestly, maybe that'll get some people to get into MyFaction a little bit, because it'll get them into the mode, and that was their thought process. Let's get as many people into MyFaction as possible, because maybe they'll enjoy the mode, because the past couple years, pretty much no one has played it. And they put a lot of time into MyFaction this year, and what they've done with the Persona cards to get people into the mode is just not okay. It's not okay as a player who wants these Persona cards. Like, I would love to get that Roman Reigns card, but if I'm in the vacation, or like myself, I'm in the process of moving right now, so I haven't been on the game much, I missed my chance. I can't get it anymore. And that's just kind of unbelievable that they put a limited time on a Persona card. But I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys a little bit about this, because I think I made a video talking about Persona cards when the game first dropped and how you could unlock them. And I think they're really cool, like the action figure ones. Those were something that were just in MyFaction last year. Now you can play as the John Cena and the Hulk Hogan. And we just got those with locker codes, and that's fine. That's great. And again, I'm not against going into MyFaction and having to play a match or two, or play through a faction war or anything like that. That's fine. There can be fun to have in that. But putting them behind packs, making them as confusing as possible, having it be something that you have to grind for, as there are plenty of players out there who just don't have the time to do that, but may want the Shield Seth Rollins card. It sucks. It really does suck. And hopefully Persona cards are more easy to obtain as this year goes on with this 2K. I don't see that happening, though. I think this is something that we're going to have to provide feedback on, and hopefully it can be improved for 2K25. Because I do think Persona cards are a good idea. I just don't think it was executed properly in 2K24. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are your guys' thoughts on these Persona cards this year? Have you enjoyed the idea? Have you enjoyed unlocking them. I don't think anyone has enjoyed the whole pack thing they did. I can pretty much safely say that, so I know that part. But if you guys enjoyed having to collect the oddities for these cards and all of that, and have you been playing MyFaction? MyFaction to me has not really been that fun this year. Again, the additions they made I haven't particularly liked, but maybe you have. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on all of this stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate your support. As always, hopefully 2K listens to this feedback and improves the way you can get these Persona cards. Hopefully this year, hopefully down the line, because we are going to get more Persona cards, I think. So hopefully when they do come out, probably the next big update, they're not hidden behind packs, but we'll see. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate all the support as always. I'll see you guys in the next video.